He witnessed the devastation firsthand.
It was sheer carnage, destruction, chaos, all wrapped up in the one.
Now one local survivor shares his escape from the deadly Maui wildfires and explains how he's trying to help others who are still struggling. Plus, he served a year of jail time but was never charged with a crime.
I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, and I just can't believe that it actually happened.
8 on Your Side is looking into a little-known rule that was used to put a Bay Area man behind bars. And they're headed back to school, but not to the dorms. New College working through a massive mold problem. Yeah, with just 4 days' notice, students at New College found out they'll be moving into hotels instead of their dorms. Good evening. I'm Keith Cate.
And I'm Stacy Scheibel. Thank you for joining us. Engineers found mold in some of the dorms, and 8 on Your Side's Nicole Rogers obtained a copy of that report.
A new mold and moisture report is now forcing students at New College to move into a hotel instead of their normal dorms until the problem gets fixed. Mold, rust, and several areas with moisture damage. That's what came out of an engineering report finalized Wednesday. That same day, New College of Florida told some students they'd now be living in hotels instead of their dorms on campus.
For me, hey, somebody wants to put me up in a 4-star hotel all year. I would love that. But the college me, would you want to be isolated away from campus, away from your classmates?
The college tells 8 on Your Side students with meal plans will still receive their meals, and shuttles will take students to and from campus. But for students like Joshua Epstein, it's not welcome news.
But that's not what I signed up for. That's not what my friends signed up for. I mean, we intentionally got on-campus housing assignments. If we wanted to live off campus, we would have selected that in the spring.
Parents tell 8 on Your Side they're upset students were given such little notice when engineers released this report back in May, saying, quote, these buildings should not be occupied in their current condition. New College of Florida's Ryan Terry blames the past administration for not doing anything about the issue for years, but says between May and now, the college was working to fix the issues while preparing solutions in case the air quality issues persisted.
The responsible thing is exactly what happened, is acknowledging the situation, exploring what are the possibilities, and already preemptively working on solutions to each of those.
You can find the full 23-page report on our website, WFLA.com. In Sarasota, Nicole Rogers, 8 on Your Side.
Well, it was a very stormy afternoon across parts of the Bay Area. Not everybody had those heavy downpours, but a lot of us did get some heavy downpours. As you can see, this is a 3-hour loop. The storm started up near the Nature Coast and especially out in the Gulf of Mexico, made their way south across Pinellas, Hillsborough, and then further south from there. Didn't get a lot of rain south of Tampa Bay in the places that we really needed. Right now, not much left, and I think most of it will be gone in the next couple of hours, but specifically, hardest hit at the moment, especially St. Petersburg. So the southern part of Pinellas County, anywhere from Shore Acres down to downtown St. Pete, although that's even starting to wither away and die. Heaviest storm is right on top of the Gandy Bridge, and it hasn't really moved in about the past half hour or so. In fact, take a look at our Marina Point cam. This whole time it's been stuck on the bridge in traffic, presumably, and you can see it has not rained yet at the actual side of the camera. So it's just been kind of hanging right there over Tampa Bay where we have a lot of instability. Future radar shows most of the showers pretty much gone after 7 o'clock very quickly, so that it'll be a nice evening out there. And it will be nice when you wake up tomorrow morning. Should be bone dry tomorrow morning because we're going to see an east wind, so we don't have that moist flow off the Gulf of Mexico tomorrow. It's going to be a hot day, though, with a lot of sunshine until this tropical wave reaches us. There it is right there, increasing our rain chances the second half of the weekend. Oh, and by the way, the tropics really starting to come alive. Coming up in my main weather forecast, we'll talk all about the potential for development in the Atlantic.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Today we heard from the St. Petersburg fire chief for the first time since he was placed on paid administrative leave nearly 2 weeks ago. The mayor's office says the chief was placed on leave after an employee survey resulted in serious accusations against the chief. That fire chief says that he has no plans to step down or retire amid allegations that he has led a workplace environment hostile to women and minority workers. Today, the chief's lawyer emailed a 100-page summary to the mayor and his legal staff regarding the allegations. Included what the chief's attorney says is proof that he promoted diversity in the workplace and letters of support from people who have worked with the chief.
But it is necessary for my family and I to defend ourselves. I want to make sure that my record is clear. And again, I will remain transparent. I remain loyal to this city.
The mayor's office says it is still reviewing those allegations made against the fire chief in that anonymous employee climate survey. The fire chief, his name Jim Large, has been with the fire department 49.5 years.
The Pasco County Sheriff's Office is investigating a death today in Port Richey, and the crime scene tape was up for hours along Newell Drive in the Gulf Highlands neighborhood. A lot of neighbors were a little tense and had plenty of questions for the Sheriff's Office. However, the Sheriff's Office didn't answer our questions about who died and how. The Sheriff's Office only said the investigation was active and there is no threat to the public.
Jailed for a year for his silence, a local wedding photographer ended up behind bars with drug dealers and gang members after invoking his Fifth Amendment right before a grand jury. Federal agents were looking into his brother, but neither he nor his brother were ever charged with a crime.
So how could this local businessman be held behind bars for so long? We're talking about a year. 8 on Your Side investigator Walt Buteau contacted a legal expert looking for answers. He joins us live in studio. Walt?
Stacey and Keith, I learned that it is legal, but it's also very rare to be jailed for civil contempt. It was a frightening reality for this wedding photographer with a clean record who came to us to tell his story after he was locked up for that year. A federal prisoner holding area in the Pinellas County Jail is where Michael Zambaras's time behind bars started, but he tells me after he was beaten up.
Blood here, there, cut up all over.
He was moved to maximum security, where he stayed for the rest of his nearly year-long stint in jail.
I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, and I just can't believe that it actually happened.
What happened starts about 6 years ago with a federal investigation of Miami-based DEA agent Jose Irizarry. Irizarry pleaded guilty 3 years ago to stealing $9 million in taxpayer money meant for undercover drug operations. But the investigation continued, targeting Michael's brother George, who was one of Irizarry's partners. George Zambaras has never been charged. Last year, prosecutors brought Michael before a Tampa grand jury to ask him questions about his brother, but he pleaded the fifth, even though he was awarded immunity. That prompted a federal judge to cite him for civil contempt and send him to jail. Mark Rankin was a federal public defender, and his practice includes federal cases. So if I have immunity, I have to testify? My Fifth Amendment right is taken away?
As long as you do not have a legitimate legal fear of being prosecuted because they've given you a blanket immunity, then you can be compelled to testify.
Rankin tells us a hearing is held before a judge makes a civil contempt ruling.
Well, the judge has to look at the situation and determine whether the person has a sincere fear of potentially being prosecuted.
Zambaras says he was fearful after his attorney advised him even a mistake during testimony could have led to a perjury charge.
This has been going on for 6 years, so they're going to be asking me questions that happened 5, 6 years ago.
We asked the FBI and the Department of Justice for more information about the investigation, but both agencies declined. Rankin says while the law supports jail time for civil contempt, this is the first time he's seen it happen in the Bay Area.
It's extremely rare that this actually happens. Usually once people are threatened with jail and they have immunity, they even reluctantly, they'll give the testimony.
Zambaras found out he was out when his jail-issued debit card didn't work. Rankin says someone dropped the ball by not notifying him that he was free.
How long did he stay in there when he could have been out? Do we know that?
Well, they kept asking, and they say they were ignored. So
okay, so we don't know that. And he can't file a lawsuit, really, can he?
Well, so not right now, because he says, he put it this way, what they did was legal. In Rankin's opinion, though, Zambaras could have a civil rights case on his claim that no one told him he was free. Again, he only found out after that jail debit card didn't work.
All right.
It's just a crazy story.
But it tells you how powerful the federal government is and how they use this to compel testimony. It works most of the time. It didn't work this time.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Thanks,
Walt Buteau, if you'd like something that you'd like Walt to investigate, call our helpline 1-800-338-0808.
News Channel 8 is your official Bucs station, and the Bucs did not practice today in New Jersey, but they are ready for the preseason game number 2 tomorrow night.
Yeah, the Bucs will play the New York Jets. I am on the Bucs side, contrary to my dress
green.
color.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it. Sorry. The fans are wondering, the Bucs fans, if we're going to see more starters play in this game. Dan Lucas joins us live from Jersey City, New Jersey. Dan up.
Yeah, good evening, Stacey. I think we'd love to see a lot of starters play, even on the other team. They want to see Aaron Rodgers play. I don't know if we're going to see that, though, tomorrow night. I do hope, though, we get a night like this at MetLife Stadium. This is unbelievable here on the Hudson River right now. I had asked Todd Bowles yesterday if not practicing with the Jets changed his mind on who he was going to play in this game. He said no. Bowles has a plan in mind. He's sticking to it. We do know that Kyle Trask will get the first play as a quarterback. Beyond that, though, no guarantees at any position. But I'll single out the linebacker group. Rookie Servassier Dennis played well last Friday, but he is nursing an injury, so we may see even more youth behind 12-year veteran Levante David, who told me at practice on Wednesday that he's confident in those younger players. Heading into the second game, where do the linebackers stand for you?
Getting better, man. I'm pleased with our group. Everybody's willing to learn. Can't ask for much more. You know, we got a young group. You know what I'm saying? I'm the oldest guy in the room, you know, but, you know, I just try to bring guys along, man. I just try to set a standard, and the guys just got to, you know, bring it up. Me and Devin, you know, we played together for a long time, so trying to get the guys up to speed.
Yeah, the guys are up to speed defensively. On Wednesday, they had a terrific day against the Jets' #1 offense. So we'll see if they can match that level, since they didn't get to practice with the Jets on Thursday. But either way, we may have a quarterback decision sometime early next week. Todd Bowles kind of danced around that issue a little bit more. But Kyle Trask gets his chance on the big stage as the starter tomorrow night. Let's send it back to you guys.
Yeah, Dan, I was thinking, you know, the Bucs announced early on who was going to play in each game quarterback-wise, but these guys are keeping it a secret, what, till the last minute, you figure?
I think they're just taking their time. As Dave Canales mentioned in Seattle, when they made their quarterback decision last year, it was right before the opener. So they went through the entire preseason trying to keep it a secret. I think it's fair to give Kyle Trask a chance to start the game. Now they'll each have one chance as a starter. Baker Mayfield led a touchdown drive in his start. So if Trask does the same, how much you want to bet we go to the third game? We still don't know yet. I bet you that happens. We'll see.
All right. Thank you, Dan. We shall see. And make sure, if you're watching right now, you're going to tune in tomorrow, because that entire News Channel 8 sports team will be hosting a Bucs bonus pregame special live from MetLife Stadium, followed by the Bucs-Jets game live right here on News Channel 8. Again, this is tomorrow night beginning at 7 o'clock.
Still ahead, he escaped from the worst of the Maui wildfires. Now a local man's tale of survival from that destruction as he voices his frustrations tonight, pushing for more support there.
Recovery efforts continue in Maui after the devastating wildfires in Lahaina. At least 111 people are now confirmed dead, and that number is expected to rise with less than half of the burned zone searched and more than 1,300 people still missing. And tonight, federal investigators with ATF are on the ground in Maui, still looking into the cause of this fire.
Survivors are coming forward sharing their awful stories, including a Tampa Bay native. 8 on Your Side's Brittany Muller joins us live in studio tonight. Good evening, Brittany.
Stacey, Keith, good evening to you both. Tampa Bay native Gregory Mulkenthin moved to Hawaii 5 years ago. For the past year and a half, he's been living in Lahaina. Mulkenthin is now criticizing state and federal leaders for what he says has been a lack of a response. Tampa Bay native Gregory Mulkenthin says it's been life-changing.
Tell me about your experience of living in Hawaii, living on the island of Maui, and the community, the people, the spirit.
Living on Maui has been nothing short of fantastic up until a week and a half ago.
Mulkenthin describes the wildfires as sheer carnage, destruction, chaos, all wrapped up in one.
You see people with moments of joy. You see people with moments of sadness, sorrow, and the one thing that I've seen through all of this is aloha.
Recalling his chaotic escape out of his home in Lahaina to Napili, a neighborhood about 7 miles north.
There was power lines down, power poles, cars on the road, street signs, and in the meantime, I was just submerged in black smoke and red embers and fire all around me.
Mulkenthin is now volunteering.
There's been very little coordination from the state and the government. Within the first 5 days, we didn't see anybody. There was no outside help. All the efforts that have been put forward were from neighboring islands.
These photos showing that help. Mulkenthin says private boats have been making runs from neighboring islands, offloading supplies like water and diapers.
Hawaii's Attorney General says that she's now asking a third-party investigator to see how the county, the state handled the wildfires. What's your reaction to that?
I think that there needs to be some serious audits in what's happened from the moment this fire started till even now, because the community has lost trust in the state and the government.
Mulkenthin tells me one of the main goals for Lahaina now is to make sure the community is prepared for disasters of this nature. In the meantime, authorities are now investigating the cause of that wildfire.
And Brittany, you mentioned the Attorney General in Hawaii is asking for that outside investigation. What else did she have to say?
So Hawaii's Attorney General says that the investigation will likely take months. And this is also a really important aspect of the story. Hawaii's power utility is now facing 4 lawsuits, that's according to NBC News, for years of failing to take action to prevent catastrophe. And the company declined to comment because of that pending litigation.
I can imagine so. A lot more to learn there. Thank you, Brittany. And a lot of help still needed. And you can join 8 on Your Side in supporting those impacted by the wildfires. Your donation will help the Red Cross help those most affected in the aftermath of the devastation. You can just scan that QR code you see on your screen. And so far, more than $100,000 has been raised.
Max Defender 8, the most advanced weather radar in Florida.
Good evening. The weekend has arrived. I'm Chief Meteorologist and Climate Specialist Jeff Baradelli. So I actually think we're going to see a good window opportunity to be outside tomorrow because the moisture that's on top of us, you can see it in the red, is going to thin out tomorrow, but not for long because we're tracking a tropical wave that will get here late Saturday, so late tomorrow, and then into Sunday with plenty of tropical moisture and a good chance for showers and storms, especially the second half of the weekend. All right, this is our St. Pete Beach camera located at Trade Winds, and you can see that storm in the distance. We have had some showers and a couple of heavy downpours in the southern part of Pinellas County. Temperature is 82. Did not pick up much rain at St. Pete Beach, and you can see most of it is now headed towards the south into the open waters of Tampa Bay, and it's moving into Manatee County. So we're going to see some spotty showers in Manatee County for the next couple hours. After that, it should be pretty dry tonight and dry tomorrow morning when you wake up. Notice even at 2 o'clock tomorrow, it is still dry, and that's because we have an east wind. Takes a little while for those showers along the east coast to reach us. They will get to us probably late in the afternoon and during the early evening hours. I don't think they're going to last very long, maybe 15 minutes or so. And I think the majority of the day, 95+% of the day, is going to be dry and sunny and hot because of it. Now on Sunday, that's not the case. As this tropical wave moves across the state, we're going to see gusty downpours moving by from time to time, especially during the late afternoon and evening hours. Rain chances running about 70% on Sunday. So Saturday, hot sun most of the day. A quick late storm is possible. Sunday, more clouds, gusty passing storms are possible at any time, but mainly during the afternoon. Rain chances go way down Monday and Tuesday once the system moves into the Gulf of Mexico. And because of that, with all that sun, we heat back up. 91 on Sunday, back up to near record territory by next Tuesday and again on Wednesday. All right, in the tropics, there's the one disturbance that's moving across the state on Sunday. And then 3 disturbances we're tracking in the tropics. One there, one there, one there. They all have a chance of development. The one in the Gulf could become a tropical storm as it heads towards Texas by the middle of next week. This is the one we'll watch most closely right here in the yellow. The ones behind it also have some chance of development as well. All right, here's a look at your 8-day forecast. And again, I should note that none of those are moving in our direction anytime soon, at least. Here's the 8-day forecast. Rain chances running at 70% on Sunday. And notice next week, once we lose the rain, we gain the sun. Temperatures back to 95, 96, near record territory again. I know, here we go.
You're saying enjoy the rain this weekend, then.
Yeah, that's right. I've never said that before, but yeah, enjoy the rain.
All right. Thank you. Here's a look at what's coming up on News Nation.
Tonight on News Nation, Dan and his all-star panel have plenty to say. Why moms in Missouri are facing jail for their kids missing school. And will taunting former President Trump get him to the debate stage? Plus, the new accusations Bradley Cooper is facing tonight on Dan Abrams Live. Then on Banfield, the accused Idaho murderers back in court. We break down the big requests and claims from the defense team. Tonight on Banfield. To find News Nation on your screen, go to joinnn.com.
That's all coming up tonight. Here are the channels on your screen, and sports is up next.
News Channel 8 is your official Bucs station. One preseason game is in the books with a second one on deck tomorrow night against the Jets. Last week against the Steelers, we saw Baker Mayfield get the start, and this time it'll be Kyle Trask starting. This was the plan for some time, giving both an equal chance to compete for this starting job. Head coach Todd Bowles has been asked several times about his timetable to choose his starting QB, and he has yet to share an exact decision window. Bowles was asked yesterday if, ideally, he'd like to name a starter after tomorrow's game.
When it's time, we'll make it. I don't have a set time to make it. I'm comfortable with where we're at on both sides, so we'll make it and discuss it and see how the game goes, and we'll see what the last game looks like.
Be sure to join our entire News Channel 8 sports team. Me and Eileen will be in studio. Dan will be at MetLife Stadium tomorrow night at 7 o'clock for our Bucs pregame show. The Bucs, of course, taking on the Jets, and you can see that right here on News Channel 8 following our pregame show. After an off day Thursday, the Rays continued their West Coast trip in Anaheim later on tonight. Game 1 of 3 against the Angels. Taking 2 of 3 against the Giants on the front end of this week, the Rays look to win their 3rd straight series this weekend. It's going to be an abbreviated weekend because of Hurricane Hillary. Headed towards Southern California, Sunday's game moved up, now part of a doubleheader tomorrow starting at 4 o'clock.
Jeff, weather getting in the way again, only this time on the other coast.
Yeah, I got to tell you, this much rain in such a short span, they've never seen this before. It really could be pretty disastrous in terms of the flooding in Southern California. It's what all the experts who, are there are saying.
Yeah. And here we'll see our own rain, but hopefully no flooding tonight, right?
Yeah,
and
no,
this
we'll be
weekend.
okay. We'll be all right. Temperatures are tolerable now, but heat's coming back.
That's
so,
right.
There you go.
Thanks for joining us. Nightly News is coming up next, followed by News Channel 8 at 7.
And we'll see you back here tonight for News Channel 8 at 11. Good night.